Mistake number 9 in second marriage is failing to protect your spouse and your kids. And we're seeing this a lot these days, because you've got a lot of blended families. The husband and the wife are bringing in their own children into the marriage, many times adult children. So these adult children never really knew the new spouse growing up and may or may not like that individual. And what happens is we have a new marriage, the spouse, I really want to take care of this surviving spouse. They've really been there for me in these later years of my life. I want them to have what I had, but I also want to leave something for my kids. But the primary concern is typically to make sure the surviving spouse is taken care of. But what happens is that sometimes that surviving spouse will amend the trust and leave the assets to the kids, or maybe they'll just withdraw the money and leave it to their own children. So that can be problematic. Or we have a surviving spouse who's a spendthrift. After their spouse has passed away, they begin taking vacations all over the world, and the burn rate increases substantially. So that can also effectively disinherit the children, or they could remarry, find an additional spouse, a gold digger spouse, decimating the estate. So how do we solve this? We can create a Q-tip trust, qualified terminal interest property trust for your spouse. Essentially, the inheritance passes to the spouse instead of their new spouse or the son or daughter-in-law. So this 1/2 of the trust does become irrevocable if that's what we want. For asset protection purposes, the spouse receives the income and principal off of those assets, but we have the beneficiaries locked in upon their death, so we know those assets will go to our children and not some other third party.